As an Israeli citizen who is promoting the vision of a democratic world federation, I often encounter the following challenging question. Your country holds millions of Palestinians under military rule, oppression and discrimination. Shouldn't you struggle to bring about real democracy at your local level first, and only then talk about the global level? My honest reply is that to the best of my understanding, the lack of democracy and rule of law at the global level is, in fact, the most fundamental underlying cause of this conflict, and that therefore it must be addressed with the highest priority if we are serious about ending it. To understand why, it is useful to consider the rationale of the Zionist movement, whose turn to Palestine ignited the conflict. With all due respect to the ancient longing of religious Jews to return to the biblical promised land, the main reason that so many, mostly secular, Jews turned to Zionism and immigrated to Palestine since the late 19th century was the fact that as a minority in Europe they were too often prone to persecution and oppression. This experience led many of them believe the nationalist creed that only a nation-state of their own could guarantee their survival. Had there been, in the past or today, a world federation holding both the power and the democratic legitimacy to defend all humans in the world, it is unlikely that Zionism and many other national movements would have become so popular and powerful. It is true that in a democratic world federation Israeli Jews would return to be just a small minority and would lack the legal sovereignty that they enjoy today. But that would not be a problem for them, as rather than having to defend themselves they will be protected by the far stronger government that represents all humans. In such a world, all other religious, national or ethnic groupings would similarly turn into small minorities. When considering the nearly 8 billion of potential world citizens, we can see that even the largest groupings that we know, such as Christians, Muslims, Chinese, or Indian, would be only large minorities, 31%, 24%, 16%, 15% respectively. And since these groupings are highly heterogeneous and divided internally, all people will belong to far smaller minorities, and that would be just fine. Unlike nation-states, which by design are obsessed with maintaining a national majority in the country, in a global federation the people would be composed entirely of minorities. This inherent diversity of the population means that the only social contract that such a polity could be based on would be one that enshrines and protects the basic rights and freedoms of all people in their groups through effective constitutional and institutional checks and balances, and with a democratically elected world parliament at the center. In such a federation, Jews and Palestinians alike will not be restricted from settling in any part of the earth. No land would belong exclusively to any group, and people would be free to live wherever they choose, as is customary within democratic federations.